Okay, Reusse Unchained here. Pat's in a remote location, and we've been monitoring. So tonight is the official NFL schedule release primetime celebration, and we will be live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel breaking down the order of
No,
opponents.
no,
But we
you
are
won't.
we.
No,
You
you
want to join
won't.
us?
You
You want to
won't
join us?
actually do that. Well, you're not.
Pat, come on in
You're
and
not
join
going
us
to
tonight.
participate in this nonsense,
Oh, the
are
water's
you?
warm. Come on.
Come on, Pat.
Yes. Okay. All righty.
We already have pieced together based on reporting like 6 of the games. So we
Okay.
want to get your reaction to our piecing together of part of the Vikings schedule here. Clear your Christmas plans. Vikings versus Lions on Netflix on Christmas Day.
Our place or their place?
Our place.
Sounds
Our
like US
place.
Bank
Wow.
Stadium. Yep.
Christmas Day. Oh, that's good. Well, at least it's not Christmas Eve where the dads all come home drunk. That's, Christmas. They can, who cares anymore about Christmas? Yeah. Yeah, but I want to know if Purple Daily's going to Danube or London or both. Which are you going to? That's
Yeah,
what
so
we
we got
want to know.
Dublin week 4 and then
No, no,
London week
Dublin. Yeah,
5.
Dublin, not Danube. What am I talking about? That's in the Rhine River or some damn thing. Dublin is when?
Dublin is week 4 and then they're going to stay over there and play
Yes.
in London for week 5.
The NFL likes the Vikings because this is a year where they're supposed to have 9 road games, right?
Yeah, and it's 7
Yeah, and
now.
they only have 7. They get 8 home games, 7 road games, and two neutral site ones. So who are they playing in Dublin and London?
Yeah, Steelers in Dublin and then
Oh, well, that's
Browns in London.
yeah. The Steelers. They took the Steelers from Dublin because of the Rooneys, I'm sure, and the connection to Ireland and all that. That the families owned them for 100 years. And Art Rooney, the original, was a famous Irishman, Irish bookie, I think. But anyway, that's good. And then who in London? Who?
The Browns, the vaunted Cleveland Browns.
Tottenham
So
Hotspur
not only do
Stadium.
we get to go to London, we got 2 scheduled victories too. That's
Wow.
fantastic. Wow, isn't it?
2 weeks
Get to
there.
beat Aaron Rodgers again in
So
Dublin. It'll be
so
good.
the original plan was the league was going to give the Steelers the Packers in Dublin.
Yeah.
And the Steelers are like, "Oh, whoa, we don't want to. We want that game in Pittsburgh. What are you talking about?"
Oh,
And so
really?
they relented and said, "Okay, just take the Vikings instead."
All right. Well, either way, they'll get their ass kicked because they stink. But that's good. And then so what the Brownies? Yeah, two of your non. So 2 of your games against that division are neutral site. It's
Yeah.
Genius.
fantastic. And then one of them they play at home, and the other one they play on the road,
In
right?
fact, they're
So
getting really lucky so far here with the cold weather possibilities.
Yep.
So at Pittsburgh could have been cold weather. It's not. At Browns could have been cold weather. At Bears could have been cold weather, but they're playing week 1 Monday Night Football in Chicago.
really, wow, wow. Okay, well, uh, they will get off to an 0-1 start though. The days of winning,
Wow.
the days of just walking to a victory in Soldier Field are over. After they spent all their money on what they had to, which was an offensive line, just like the Vikings did. But I think that we're going to go back to the Soldier Field jinx on that first Monday night, and it could be a blowout with the rookie quarterback starting. So
Wow.
now, how much are they going to let McCarthy play in the exhibition games? Probably
Probably not too
one
much.
series,
Yeah,
2 series,
yeah, probably not
actually.
much.
So they feel like they can learn more about him in a controlled scrimmage in their own practices than in an actual exhibition game.
And they're going to have, and I believe because they have 2 home preseason games, they're going to have 2 joint practices, which is where they actually feel like they learn way more than the preseason games.
Public ticket holders, they're screwing you. Do you know this? They're absolutely robbing you. They might as well take a gun and put it to your forehead when you walk in the stadium for a preseason game because they're not going to let you see anybody play. They'd rather have them out there scrimmaging at whatever we used to call, whatever we now call the practice facility. So
Yeah, TCOPC
I
for short.
I don't do that. So.
But Pat, where the public gets even is they then pick a game or two that's a huge high priority game for the opposing team and sell their tickets.
Yes,
So
they do that.
so they pay for their season tickets via like one or two games. So in the end,
we're getting all scratchy here. Is that just me? Or
No, yeah. Well, let's bump Pat there. Pat, why don't you jump out and jump back in again, and we'll reset the connection there.
we had that problem on Unchained Monday too.
Yeah. Well, he's a man of he's a traveling man. He's out driving around.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he's trying to hold his phone too, though. Like he told me he thought that he could rest it on his dashboard, but he can't. I feel like he needs a contraption because like there's a lot of guys now in cars on the McAfee show stuff, right?
Yeah.
But they've got a stationary phone. How do you get the stationary phone?
What, like you put a mount on your dashboard, right? I think.
Well, there you go.
You could get one of those for.
That's what they need. That's what Pat needs.
Okay. Do we have him back?
It's worse.
I think we might.
It's worse.
This is going to be like the Vikings. The Vikings offense against the Bears in week
one.
The
NFL got to him. They're like, this man is bashing our schedule on this sacred day.
But that is one angle that we haven't, as this pieces together. The risk of playing. Listen, the Vikings. It might be a Minnesota-based team, but they're playing in 72-degree controlled climate. They're not exact. They're closer to the Dolphins when it comes to like acclimating to cold weather than. So these cold weather games are coming off the board here.
So O'Connell did he did something with the media in Ireland and then the UK, and he talked about that. And he basically said he said, first of all, we're taking 2 games, and he said it's going to be great there, like the atmosphere is great, but we're taking them out of stadiums here in this country where it's going to be all, for the most part, fans of the opposed or the team that the Vikings are playing. Mm-hmm. And then he mentioned on McCarthy in particular, we don't mind not playing a couple of games potentially in the cold, because Cleveland and Pittsburgh would not have been back to back. Like one of those is probably going to be in December. So yeah, I think the Vikings from their standpoint, I don't know if the players like this. I think the Vikings definitely, from a coaching staff standpoint, like this.
Yeah.
Plus, it isolates players.
But you might be staring down the barrel of a Lambeau Field Week 18 situation here.
Yeah.
But I'd rather do that than get Pittsburgh in Week 16 and then the Packers in Week 18.
Yeah. All right. Should we check on our roaming correspondent here? Uh-oh.
No, it's not gonna.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's gonna work. Well, we'll have to try again on Friday, I guess, with Pat.
I wanted to ask about Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe as well.
We did give some Pete Rose takes on. Was it the Purple Daily or no? It was the Mackey and Judd. Write that down.
Yeah.
What about Shoeless Joe? That one goes back like 120 years.
Yeah.
And what was the story there? That his team threw the World Series.
Yes.
But that he was one of the players that was actually trying.
No, yes, he agreed. The story is that he was in agreement to throw the 1919 World Series against, I believe at the time, the Reds of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then at the last second, he backed out of it. But he was still, if I'm not mistaken, he was still indicted or part of the court proceeding. And so off of that, he was banned. But if you go back and look at his career, it is phenomenal. He spent about a 3-year stretch. I checked this out last night in Cleveland, where he was like, his WARs were like 7+, 9+, 7+. He hit 400 in at least one of those seasons.
Yeah, and in that, a couple crazy things about that World Series. This is way before any of our time. That was an 8-game World Series.
Oh, back when, yeah.
But why was it? I feel like they for a couple years. Yeah, it looks like for 3 years they played to whoever won 5 games. So 1919, 1920, and 1921. It was first to 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So it went. I guess it could have been a 9-game series if it had gone the distance, but The Reds won. The Reds took a 4-1 lead in the series over the White Sox, and then the White Sox came roaring back.
Yep.
And then the Reds won Game 8, 10-5. Super weird.
But if you look at Joe's career arc, he is probably as much a Hall of Famer in a lot of ways as Pete Rose is.
Yeah, and for the record, in that World Series, Shoeless Joe Jackson, if he was throwing the series, he probably hurt his chances because he hit 375 over the 8 games, and had an OPS of 956.
Which is why I think he backed out. He backed out of the agreement, but I think he was in the original agreement to throw it, and that's what got him banned from baseball.
Okay.
Say it ain't so, Joe.
Yeah.
And then he
Great movie.
made a cameo, in Field of Dreams. I don't know if he got any royalties for that. Well, he was dead, but an actor portrayed him.
I
in Field
would
of
guess
Dreams.
he didn't. I would guess he didn't.
So, all right, well, we'll try again Friday with Patrick Reusse. Reusse Unchained here on Score North.